So this is a big deal, man. This is a big topic. A lot of people talking about this. Warner Brothers for sale. The Wall Street Journal reported last week that Paramount and Skydance, who this new CEO guy is apparently the richest dude on the planet now, which I totally missed, but he's like richer than Elon. What the fuck? Crazy. So that company's apparently in to make a bid for Warner Brothers. And by the way, this would be the whole fucking company. Now, technically, Warner Discovery split back into two separate companies a couple of months ago. This would be for the Warner Brothers side of that company, but it is the full fucking Warner Brothers company. So however it was split when that was going down is now the way that it'll be split for the sale. Now, a couple of different interesting things going on here. A little bit of updating here, and a lot of this is coming in the world of like finance, speculation, Wall Street, etc. I'm just looking at some reporting over here on the Streamable. Key details is what's important to us here. It says Zaslav has met with bankers to gauge bidding interest in Warner Bros. Discovery. No numbers yet. Paramount is prepping a mostly cash offer for Warner Bros. Discovery, but it hasn't disclosed its official bid. And the Warner Bros. CEO wants to propel the company's stock price to $40 a share, which would be crazy. Now, within this, it says, according to the Post, Zaslav has reached out to bankers at Goldman Sachs to see what the interest level is for the media and tech companies. He's seeing what the interest is from other companies like Amazon, Apple, and Netflix would have in acquiring Warner Bros. Discovery. One person with knowledge of Zaslav's movies says the CEO, or with his moves, says the CEO thinks a bidding war is imminent and that the Paramount-owning Ellison family knows it. Ellison better come up with a really good offer, and it better be cash, the person said. Zaslav's feeling is that Ellison is trying to get ahead of a bidding war that is coming. And again, this could include companies like Apple, Amazon, and Netflix. So all of a sudden, the plot fucking thickens here with the sale. Now, there's a couple of different sides of this. I think on the one hand, right, it's appropriate to remember, and I've seen some Hollywood reporting. I think the Puck did a piece on this, like a couple other outlets did a piece on this, that are again painting Zaslav in a terrible light here, and just talking about how this is all just now tech bros and profit margins, and it's all asset acquisition, this, that, second, and the third, and they don't care about movies anymore, and that's probably true. I mean, that's probably fair. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, that's probably what it is. I don't think Ellison cares all that much. I don't think Zaslav cares all that much. I don't know what the CEO of Apple and Netflix feel about this. I don't know what Amazon feels about this. But it's all because these mega corporations, these big tech companies, and these media companies are evolving into whatever the next stage of the competitive landscape is going to be, right? And I think especially under this administration, the Trump administration, you're going to see the sale go through one way or the other. And you're going to see less concern about monopolies and, antitrust kind of stuff going on with this. And I think it's really interesting, man. I think it's really interesting that you have this information out there about the bidding war, okay? And there's comments. There's other reporting here. So this is an article over on the New York Post, and it's echoing a lot of the stuff we just saw in this other article. What they're talking about here is Zaslav being aware that Ellison wants to get ahead of the bidding war, and Zaslav is trying to hold that off. Zaslav wants the bidding war because the bidding war would create a lot more value for the shareholders, including Zaslav himself. Okay, so what does this mean exactly? Well, I think that Ellison and Paramount, I think those people are actually pretty smart over there. I'm sure that they're aware how all of this is happening, and that's why people think this offer could be like a really big cash offer. If it's a big enough offer, which the reporting is Zaslav wants something close to $40 a share. I don't know what that total is, but I imagine that's a pretty fucking penny. Maybe Paramount comes in with exactly what he's looking for, and it all gets squashed and it gets ended right there. However, if Paramount thinks that they can keep the price lower than what Zaslav wants, even after a bidding war, then we're about to see a crazy fucking bidding war go on. And like, guys, I want to talk about this because I really do think this is a crazy deal. As it pertains to us over here, us big nerds, this is most important because of DC. Okay, James Gunn just launched the DCU. We've got Superman, we've got, Peacemaker, you've got Lantern, Supergirl, Man of Tomorrow, you've got Batman Part 2, DC, very, very popular nerdy thing and very important to comic book fans. And you now have the company controlling that IP has basically become an eBay auction. Okay? And we're going to see these major corporations, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Paramount, literally do an eBay-like bidding war for some of the most important nerdy IP ever. Holy shit. Now, there's a lot of different conversations that people are having. I think the main one here is, from what I've seen, it kind of seems like it's still going to be Paramount. It seems like this is just a few more obstacles. Perhaps this is Zaslav's leverage to get the price up for the Paramount thing. Seems like it'll still be Paramount because they're prepping this. They think it's going to happen. I think there's been conversations. I think Zaslav and Ellison have had conversations. But technically, when you open the door up to other offers, it leaves room for one of these companies to overbid to make an offer they can't refuse. Apple and Netflix and Amazon. Holy fucking shit, dude. I mean, are these the most powerful companies maybe in the history of entertainment and the history of technology? Holy shit. This is crazy. I think Apple has basically unlimited money. And they finally started to crack the code with Apple TV, with F1. They finally started to do some good stuff here. Apple has basically unlimited money, and I think with Warner Brothers property, they could integrate it into a lot of their pipeline with Apple products and stuff like that. It could be absolutely incredible. Amazon just won't stop, and there's been squeezes, supply chain issues over the past couple of years, tariff issues, all sorts of issues. Amazon's still just killing it, dude. And then when it comes to the entertainment side of things, the tech side of things, Amazon's doing just fine, all the diversifying into servers and AWS and all that sort of stuff. Amazon is fucking killing it. They're going to be fine. Netflix, they just can't stop making money, dude. And Netflix is continuing to just do really impressive shit. I thought the boxing matches over the weekend were great. Netflix still has a lot of upside into the changing market, and they're the Coca-Cola of streaming. So if they have DC, holy shit, holy shit. DC's now Netflix thing. Oh my God, that could be crazy. So all these companies have, I think, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and would benefit greatly from having the IP. The other thing that's kind of weird about this is I know that the government's probably going to be very friendly to this deal, but technically speaking, there is less of a conflict of interest with Amazon, Apple, or Netflix owning Warner Brothers than there would be for Paramount. Paramount is literally a different studio, right? Paramount Skydance, right? So are they going to have two movie studios? That feels like a conflict of interest. I don't know. Technically, I could see a scenario in which the government's actually, no, it's got to be one of these companies. Crazy. So what do we think could happen? Man, I got to say, if Netflix gets DC, look the fuck out. I mean, the Snyder fans, of course we had to talk about the Snyder fans. Of course we were going to get there. And yes, Netflix does have a deal with Snyder, although it seems like that might be on the outs. I believe the new project, the more independent film, is not going to Netflix because they didn't want to give Zach the budget for it, right? I'm not sure. But obviously Zach has this big deal with Netflix. He's done a lot of stuff with Netflix. Holy shit, that could be crazy. And just in general, I think Netflix and Apple are both companies that I think are not afraid to shake shit up. Deadass. And I think Netflix or Apple could be bold enough to blow up James Gunn's shit, basically, is what I'm saying. I don't know that Amazon would, and especially with Amazon sort of courting the James Bond character, and it seems like they're really into theatrical, and they're going to do some interesting theatrical stuff there. Even the Henry Cavill Warhammer thing is supposed to be shows and then theatrical, right? So they seem to have an eye on theatrical. Apple has an eye on theatrical. Netflix does not, bro. Netflix doesn't give a fuck. So it is quite interesting that any of these companies could hold the DC IP within the next couple of months if this actually happened. So wild update to the story here. We will keep an eye on it for sure. And we'll see, man. I mean, it could be Apple, it could be Amazon, it could be Netflix, or it could be Paramount. This is pretty wild. So that's the basics of the story, guys. We'll see how the bidding war goes, if there is a bidding war. I'll open it up to questions now. I mean, what do you guys think? Is there one of these companies you would rather have DC? Should it be Paramount? Because here's what's interesting. The Paramount thing is not that popular. Like, I think it's a good move, actually. I think a lot of analysts think it's a good move. But the fans were not too keen on it. I saw a lot of pushback to this Paramount thing. If you're a person that didn't like the Paramount thing, are one of these other companies better? Is it Amazon? Is it Apple? Is it Netflix? What do you think? Netflix doesn't need them. They're a franchise factory. Netflix does not need them. But Netflix is a major player in that space. I mean, Netflix wants big IP. They want original IP. They want to continue their dominance. I think Netflix would find this attractive. The entire Warner Brothers catalog on Netflix? I mean, that's pretty valuable, man. Paramount should stay far away from DC. Well, do you think you like one of these other options? It would do best in Amazon's hand. I feel like as a DC fan, I feel like it's Apple. I think Apple is the most ideal fit because Apple has like basically unlimited money. Apple seems to be really keen on letting creatives do their thing. And Apple has courted a lot of talent that has felt a bit scorned, I think, within the big Hollywood machine. Right? Apple, somehow, some way, has now gained the reputation through their Apple TV and through a lot of the movies, and I think most recently through F1. Apple's gained this reputation that they're kind of the ones that are going to take care of the quality part. Like if you care about quality, it seems like Apple's like made that a part of their branding. So that's interesting. You know, I don't know that I would have seen that 5 years ago, but now, yeah. Netflix would destroy Warner, DC, Paramount would do well. With Amazon, it would stay the same, but Apple would be beautiful. Match made in heaven. Yeah, I think so. I can't stand Apple. Amazon, if anything, maybe Paramount. Well, Apple, it's interesting because I think Apple has a sort of reputation because of their ecosystem and the elitism of, you know, Apple product and, you know, all of that. It's more expensive inherently, like it's more of a luxury brand almost, and it really does have some branding issues in that sense, right? But I don't know that is extended to like Apple TV, to the Apple movies. It really does seem like they're carving a path for themselves that just feels like more quality. It just feels like when I watch Apple stuff, or if I think about putting Apple TV on, or you know what I mean, I feel like they're going for the quality. Shalami Leaner says, as long as we get good DC content, I don't care who owns it. Sure, but that's like, I mean, that's kind of like just sticking your head in the sand and hoping for the best, which is absolutely fine. But it doesn't really add anything to the conversation. You know what I mean? Would Apple start putting movies in theaters? Oh, Apple's already, I mean, dude, F1 is an Apple movie, right? It's Warner Brothers and Apple, I believe. But yeah, it's Apple. I wonder why Universal is not an option and they need it besides didn't Universal just do something else recently? Maybe it's just they already did a big deal recently. If y'all want a world like Ready Player One, then Apple would be our best bet at having the deep tentacles in the entire industry. Maybe, yes. Apple products are beautiful. The quality is superior to anything else, and HBO and Paramount Sky production to match them. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Amazon already has MGM. Adding that original content, Rings of Power, IP, Fallout IP. Amazon probably too big in the space. Disney clearly. Paramount is pretty small. Paramount's making some big moves though. That UFC move is huge, dude. That UFC move is big. So yeah. Oh, really interesting. I didn't realize that. I think Apple could be the only company that could put out super hero movies on top in the next decade. I think the Apple superhero thing is an interesting combination. I think that could be good. Josh, asteroid or spaceship in October? I don't know what that means. Oh, you mean the silo bullshit thing or whatever? I don't know, man. I think we're probably cooked either way. It would be great for Apple too. I think it would be substantial for Apple. I think this IP is uniquely attractive to all of these companies for different reasons. I feel like Amazon and Netflix would view it more as just another slice of their pie, but I think Apple might really lean into it. Apple and DC could be really good, dude. Like, imagine Bruce Wayne, computer tech genius, using Apple products, you know? Do you Batman fans hate it? Do you cringe at it? I don't know. Could be a good fit. Could be a good fit. Which one of these companies do you think is most likely to restore the Snyderverse? Let's take it there. Fuck it, man. Fuck it. Let's go there. Which one of these four companies is most likely to restore the Snyderverse? Is it Paramount? Is it Apple? Is it Amazon? Or is it Netflix? Amazon? None isn't an option, guys. None. Nobody. None. No. Paramount. Hell yeah. Paramount. Netflix, I think you might have a point there. None. You're coping. Hey, Jay, you don't say that. Obviously, Netflix. I think it's either Netflix or Paramount. You know what I want? You know what I think would be so cool? I think some independent billionaire that's like a big Marvel fan, or maybe just a James Gunn hater. Like, I think some really, really wealthy Marvel fan should buy DC and just shut it down forever. Just like buy it and be like, you know, guys, like Marvel's just better, and now you'll never get DC ever again. Can you imagine? Oh my God, that would be crazy. Everybody would be like, what the fuck? But it would be sad, but it would be kind of awesome. I mean, come on, man. Talk about fuck you money. Imagine being that wealthy and being like, you see, I see that everybody wants to buy the DC. Well, I'd like to buy it. And then shut it down. Shut it down! Lou says, if you want to bring men back to the movies, they need to be more like F1 and less like Rings of Power, period. What's going on with this? Did you put period? Like, is that talk to text? Did you accidentally type it out instead of put a period? Are you talking about periods? Like, are you making some kind of menstrual joke? What's going on here? Josh, did you see the photo last night of the Flash director and Peter Safran? I think it's happening. The Flash director and Peter Safran? What do you mean? No, I didn't see it. Clayface is going to be a terrible movie? Hey, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it'll be great. Hey, maybe it'll be great. You know what I mean? I don't know. Okay, it looks like that's all the topics of Zaslav and all that. It seems like we're all in agreement. Seems like 99% of chat wants it to go to Netflix and wants them to restore the Snyderverse. And that's just the facts, Jack.